Hi everyone, welcome to another podcast from A Cosmic Conversation with me, Marie.
And me, Tina.
We are in the village of Butte Canute today. We've just been to the bakery, had something nice to eat, and we're sitting in a little park. So we've got a really nice, peaceful place to do our podcast.
And what are we doing today?
Telepathy.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you for that. That's very kind of you to say so. We were driving on the way down here to the bakery and thought, well, we've been thinking of for a few weeks to do it, haven't we?
Mm.
And so, off you go.
Oh, off I go. All
Yeah,
right
well,
then.
no, it's just that you said about you'd had a experience, and I thought it might kick-start.
When I was young, I used to play with Charlie's little pairs game cards. She was only, a baby. And you'd get like two of each picture, and you play games, didn't you, pairs. Well, I used to pick out all the single ones and then turn them over. And, when I was bored and I used to do a lot of like psychic-y stuff, I would try and pick one, remember it, turn it all over, and then try and try and guess
what the next one was.
where it is by looking into it. And I did the same with playing cards, but I wouldn't use the whole deck. Say I'd use like all the black ones and then put one red one in or one queen in or something.
Just
and
to
then
see if
go
you could
through them all.
make that connection.
Yeah, turn loads over until I got down to the last few. And after some practice, it did work for like down to the last at least 3, 2, and sometimes I did pick the actual card.
They have to take you to Las
last
Vegas, won't
minute.
we? You can do the cards. But it's sort of like you've got your 5 senses, haven't you?
Yeah.
And to me, it's like an extra sense.
Well, it's extra sensory perception.
That's the one, yeah.
That's the one. So what about frequencies?
Oh, yeah, we were talking to Brad about that, weren't we?
Yeah, like obviously I looked up the human body frequency, and it's quite a big range. But if this is where it could work with twins, if they were on the same frequency, that could be why they could
Hear each other.
telepathically communicate.
Yeah.
So, if you was on the same frequency
that just
as
opens up everything we've been
someone
talking about.
else,
The frequencies, yeah.
if you're on the same frequency, it's like tuning into a radio. This is how I get through, years ago when I've done mediumship, not with other people, but on my own, talking to, if you want to call it spirit, entities, whatever. I always say it's like tuning into like the old radios.
Yeah.
You've got to get that exact
I've still got one of them
frequency.
radios, yeah.
And it's sometimes you get a pirate station coming in, didn't you, as well?
So what's
as
your
you're
aerial?
laughing.
I'm not being
Yeah.
silly. What's your aerial?
Yeah.
Is it the place where you're doing that? Is it the area?
Or you're inside your pineal
Yeah,
gland.
that's it. Yeah.
Your pineal,
Yeah.
your third eye.
Yeah. Is that your
Is that
your
picking it
antenna?
up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is interesting.
That opens up. What about with the dogs? What if they're on another frequency,
Yeah.
but to communicate with with humans, they home in on you
Yeah.
and get to your frequency?
Yeah.
Because dogs can hear different frequencies.
That's right. And
I'm only going on dogs that I
we
know.
can't hear
Yeah.
the dog whistles because they're such a high frequency.
Yeah. So what if we
But
actually?
they can hear ours.
Yeah. So what if we tune ourselves in, like when we meditate, or when Wolfie looks at us?
Yeah. So I reckon they can understand us telepathically more than we can them.
That would make sense.
That's why they home in on you when you're not well, because they can feel your frequency.
Oh, yeah. What about, actually horses have done it, but the dogs go into hospitals.
Yeah.
And they give that
True.
sense of calm
Yeah.
to somebody. They're giving them a
Yeah.
frequency, maybe, a calmness,
Yeah.
an energy
Yeah.
of calm. That's really interesting, you know, because you've just given me like that radio image.
Radio Gaga.
So how are we tuning? You know how, like you said, the pineal gland. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
When
so
you tune in, it has to be exact, and the odds to get that exact, you know, are slim, aren't they? It's exactly pinpoint. Because you know how hard it is here. We have the old radio still, don't we, with our old cars.
yeah,
And it's really hard to get certain stations,
yeah,
even though you could be right under the mast.
yeah.
So it has to be
Right.
exact.
Would it help your placement wherever you are, like on a mountain, on
It would help, yeah. And as well with contacting, if you call it the other side, aliens, whatever, the dead, whatever. They always say they, but you know,
It's known.
yeah. If you read up on it, to do it more at night because there's less static in the air. You know, people are home.
Yeah.
There's less going on as there is during the day. The night time is a lot calmer.
And then they say about breathing difficulties, the air is thinner. You know, the air's thinner, I can breathe better. Like there's less going on. Exactly,
Yeah,
I'm
you know,
agreeing
like
with what you're
people in
saying.
rush hour traffic, you don't want to do it then because there's too much going on.
And when and
busy.
here, when you go on the Wi-Fi as well, another frequency of things, right? You can't have a conversation with somebody, particularly pictorial. You know, you're doing a video because of the amount of people who are using that frequency, that channel at the time.
Yeah,
So there's another word, a channel.
yeah.
So do you have to get to a certain channel, in a certain lane to be able to
I
get
should
to
think
the other
so,
person? You know?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. And there's, it's like on the phone, innit? That'll be your Uncle Bill. And it is Uncle Bill.
Oh, yeah.
You know, well, when you had house phones, mostly, I'm thinking, when you know, at house.
Or like when someone's thinking something and then you say it before they've actually said it out loud.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. I think as well being like in sync with someone like we are.
Yeah.
Because we tend to do that a lot, don't we?
Yeah, or when somebody says something, we have the same answer. Is that being in sync or is that telepathy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? You can, I think, people that you know well, or your family members, your friends, whatever, I think you can actually, I don't know, do you give off vibes? Because people go, I know what you're thinking.
Well, with that ESP, there's been a lot of government research on it, and I'm pretty sure the CIA have done experiments.
Not just them.
Yeah, Russian government.
Yeah.
They did a lot during the war, Cold War. Yeah, and where they'd put people in two different rooms and, you know, get one to draw a picture and the other one to try and recreate what they've drawn. And they've had good results. You know, I was talking to my son about DMT, and I think that they would have used that because they force things. They don't do things naturally when they do stuff. They try and recreate a natural phenomenon that's, you know, with a drug. Or, you know, some kind of machinery to force it.
What was it? Psychedelic experience?
Yeah, you know, like the Elon Musk thing, like you were saying. It's
I was talking about that one, aren't you? With you in the car.
This chip in the brain he's doing.
And that's like a telepathy between a human and a computer.
Yeah.
Machinery.
Yeah.
What if machinery could do it back?
So
like program
computer,
you.
Yeah.
It might be
one way.
They're like,
if it's AI, it probably would.
Nicely saying it's telepathy, but it's mind control.
Yeah.
Isn't it? The mind control, the MK Ultra thing. I mean, I think there's been a lot of atrocities, you know, deaths or things happen that, you know, the person who's committed the crime has gone, what happened? What was going on? But they've somehow been programmed.
Switched off,
Yeah.
and then switched back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, famously, they reckon that there's probably lots of stories, but the one that comes to mind is Lee Harvey Oswald with John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
They reckon, you know, he went to work, but he had the gun in his hand. But maybe he'd been switched on at another point.
Yeah.
And he went up to that point and done what he did, and then he said, I'm a patsy, which that's going down another road, and I do think he was a patsy, but there you go. My conspiracy mind. Would you say that telepathy was about prayers?
I don't know.
You know, if you're praying and you believe in that prayer, where is it going as a telepathy?
So the thing is, telepathy is basically a two-way conversation, isn't it? Well, and not physical speech.
Yeah.
So who's on the other end?
God.
If there is one.
Yes. Well, you know, I'm going on the fact that some people say my prayers have been answered in a way that is in front of you, but they say, God spoke to me, right? And that person believes that voice, that telepathy is from God, right? Whether you believe in it or not.
It's
I'm just trying to put the fact across that he's not the fact. I mean the question: are prayers telepathy? To all right then. When you're doing
contacting aliens, it's.
Sorry, hang on. I have to do that.
When you're doing.
Well, what about when you're doing
CE5?
CE5, yeah.
You're contacting aliens.
But if they exist.
You know,
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's just the concept.
Yeah.
Of course, I do believe.
You know, through meditation, other stuff. Yeah, it's telepathy. Because you're not using your voice or any other of your sensory.
That's what I'm saying. We have the five senses. Yeah.
What are your five senses?
Oh God.
You know?
Hearing, sight. Oh, it's gone out my head now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was put me on the spot. I can't remember off the top of my head now. It's gone. But the point being is that
it's not physical.
Well, senses. Yeah. But you are actually like exactly what I'm saying is, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're asking, you're having what you believe in, your telepathy with another world, with another.
Yeah, because when you look at it, it's the only way you can communicate, because you're talking about light years away, aren't you?
Yeah.
So the only communication really is telepathy. Yeah. And apparently, you know, they, as in whoever believes in them, say that they get annoyed because we can't do it, because that's how they communicate and it's normal for them.
Yeah, that they're advanced.
Using voice. Yeah.
Well, we talked about Elon Musk then, and I think he's bringing ancient ideas into the modern world where we can actually foretell things that are going to happen with the machines, and you know what I mean. He's taking a concept from ages ago to be able to what's in the brain.
But he's not the mastermind of it, obviously.
No,
just the money.
No,
I think
it's been done. Yeah.
It has been done before.
Yeah, look, we just said it at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I think it has been done before, but he's like, to me, all right, he's not like an indie band, he's a pop band. He's more commercial.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
I think they put across that it's to help mankind. There's always an underlying sinister excuse for doing it, and they said they can make they have not his one, but the other one. There was another one that made a man walk. You know, that was paralysed. That's amazing.
If it's for the good of mankind.
Yeah.
But who's to say that him putting a chip in this person's brain and communicating with the computer isn't for the good of mankind.
Yeah, it's not at the end of the day. It's not going
It's
to.
an opinion. I mean, I think, you were saying, is it for the good of mankind? But I think it's sinister.
Yeah,
Because,
there's always a front,
yeah,
a good one.
it's the Wizard
You
of
know,
Oz.
it's like, yeah,
The pulling back the curtain. Who's really there?
yeah.
You know.
You know, it's like splitting atoms. It's great for some things, but it makes bombs.
Mm,
That's how they make the nuclear bombs.
I think anything that's a good idea can be twisted and made.
Mm.
You know, there's a good and evil on both sides. But didn't he say that he wouldn't have it in his head?
Yeah, until it was properly tested.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I wonder if it could keep you alive.
Mm.
That you would have the opportunity. It would keep your...
You could have something like that.
Oh, you could have something programmed into your brain, like for Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Or things like that. I'm not saying it would cure it. I'm just saying that it would open another part of the brain
That's not working.
that's not doing what it should.
Yeah.
And it can eradicate
Yeah,
Alzheimer's.
so, yeah, you could communicate with people that otherwise weren't even strokes.
Yeah, people who are... What about when... yeah, do you know what I mean? I can see the good. I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just going... maybe it's just because we've had things happening in our lifetime where it's like, this is a brilliant idea, and then it goes to be used in a war zone.
Yeah, but I mean natural telepathy, it is real.
I believe it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been proved. I mean, when you look into you have a newborn baby, when you look into their eyes, you connect, don't you? That bond.
Yeah.
I think telepathy has to do with that bond, spiritual.
Are you telling them you love them? Or...
Yeah, but when you look into their eyes, it's same with animals, isn't it? It's like you know what they're thinking, and people do communicating with animals. I had a lady once that came to a horse that I had, and it was an Arabian horse, and his name was Pablo, but his real name wasn't Pablo. It was an Arabic name, and apparently she said, like, she spoke to the horse, if you want to call it that.
When you say that, was she looking into the horse's eyes? Was she stroking
I wasn't there.
him?
Yeah, I wasn't there. So yeah, she was stroking him, and then afterwards she said, "Oh, he said, why do you call me Pablo? That's not my real name." She didn't know that. She didn't know his name, and I don't know if she guessed again, like you saying about manipulation.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a sec, yeah.
Darren Brown, that she knew he was an Arabian horse. Maybe she knew that his name was Pablo, and she probably thought, oh, that's like a Spanish name. It's not an Arabic name that you would call an Arabian horse, is it?
Yeah.
This is his pet name, obviously, not his. So maybe that was what she was on about. And then I had a lady come to actually the horses here, she was a Reiki healer, and she communicated, and she said, oh, Diego, the horse who's passed away now, she said,
oh, our dear friend Diego,
he would like more cuddles. He likes more attention, because you don't give him a lot of attention. And I thought, no, because he actually hates attention.
Oh,
he was the opposite. He would walk away. Remember, he was free. I never made him do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
he was a free spirit.
Was a bugger, he was.
So if he wanted to come and speak to you, he would come over. But if I went over to him and started brushing him, or
there was a couple of things he liked.
He would,
underneath his chest. Rub. Yeah.
When he had enough, he'd either
just go away.
Yeah, like show his teeth at you and walk away.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, fair enough. I wasn't going to chase after him.
If you went by his face,
He'd
just lift his head. And so to me, he didn't want cuddles.
No, I don't believe.
We're going on about Diego, aren't we? Poor man.
So I thought
she
was a bit of up her backside.
So you saying like that? So are you saying that she either didn't connect with him with telepathy, or she was a fake? Now hear me out.
I think she believed believed
okay.
herself.
Right.
Yeah, you can go into a lot of stuff like that with people that talk to spirits and stuff. You will never know, will you, unless you're giving out hard facts, which I have given to people. You know,
Yeah.
that whether it's real or not, or whether you're just making it up as you go along.
So this connection between two people or a person and an animal, I mean, we've talked about him before, Wolfie,
Yeah,
right? He looks straight at you.
yeah. It's the
And
eyes,
you
isn't it?
feel his gaze, if you want to say.
Yeah.
But you feel he's trying to go.
Deep. It's so deep, isn't it? When he looks into your
It's
eyes.
strong.
Yeah, and you know, I've got Max and Dave. I take them for a walk. They disappear off for ages and ages, and I get annoyed because obviously there are snakes out this time of year, and I have to watch the farmer with the sheep, and they disappear in the deep grass. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try telepathy. So I did stand there. I did do a bit of meditation, grounding myself, you know, because I was standing on the earth, and then picturing them coming to me, like calling their names beside them and saying, come on, and then showing them that they would have cuddles after, all in picture in my head.
Right.
And then all of a sudden their heads popped up and they come running back. And this was like after ages of shouting and screaming, looking for them. So I didn't know where they were because of the deep grass. And then Dave's head popped out of the grass and then came back.
Like
So I
as
thought,
if you were
oh
calling.
God, it worked. Yeah.
Between
But
you.
then next time I tried it didn't. But the thing is, their minds are so excited about, even when I call them, they ignore you.
Right.
So
Well, somebody says about telepathy between two people, two animals. You see it in packs in the wolves. They look at each other, don't they? And then as if they know what they need to do next.
yeah,
But they say that, I've heard it said, there's an umbilical cord. There's an attachment between
animals.
two beings, two people. You know, the umbilical cord. Well, I don't know much about that, but that's a saying that you get those messages between you. There's that connection.
Mm.
I've never heard it before until the other day when I was thinking about doing this.
Well, it's a practice. I mean, you can practice. It's, you know what I did on my own. 'Cause I didn't have anybody else. But if you've got someone else, that would be good. You know, where you can draw a picture. You go into the other room, or just turn your back.
Yeah.
You know, even if you had a multiple choice, maybe of words.
But is that
even.
luck? That
Well,
you get
the odds are whatever they are to one, isn't it? Like if you're using a deck of cards, is it 52 cards? If you using a deck of cards, the thing is with cards, I narrowed it down because I was thinking of colours. It's easier to take out that one. If you've got a load of dots, you know, of every number, it's going to be very, very hard for you to home in on one thing. That's why you need something very different. I have a completely blank one.
Yeah. Well,
you know, or something of a completely different colour, that odd one that you can try and pick out and try and, if the backs are turned on the card, you know, imagine what colour it is underneath and feel the vibration of that colour to the other colour before you start.
That's an
you're looking
energy
at
between you and the card, isn't
it?
it?
So if you've got a red one and you've got loads of black ones, so pick up a red one, pick up a black one and feel the difference, how that black one would feel like maybe heavier in its mass or its vibration than the red one. Then turn them over and then try and find that red one by the energy mass.
You do it, spread them along.
Yeah.
Be good if somebody else can do it for you. Or if you shuffle them, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Just shuffle them, lay them all out, and just sit there for ages, study them all, and then think, right, no, it's not that one, turn it over. It's not that one, turn it over, until I'd get down to the last few, and I'm like, ooh. And it's like playing a game, really, but it's a really good mind game.
We'll have to try that.
And practice,
I think that's a good one for anybody listening.
It does work.
Try it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, today we are brought to you in association with TRNC.
Animal Rescue Family.
And you can make a donation towards the rescue of the dogs and their feeding and medical bills by going on PayPal.
SOSDogs2017 @outlook.com.
Right. We're still in Butte Canuck. We're still in a lovely little park. To go back slightly on the bit you said about DMT.
Yeah. My son was talking about the acacia tree,
Yeah,
that it's got this,
under the bark.
yeah, and if you burn it, yeah, you get that
An
psychedelic
hallucinogenic moment.
experience.
Yeah, we said about some of the DMT, didn't we? It's
Yeah, I think they use DMT to force telepathy and other
to,
extrasensory
would you say,
experiments.
to put the spark into that part of your brain. Do you get me? That drug awakens that part of the brain so telepathy can happen.
Opens, opens doors, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I just think it's
Well, he reckons, like, you know, the story of Moses, if it was real, who knows? But maybe he was at the burning acacia tree
and the
and
fumes.
he got that psychedelic experience.
Yeah, I heard him say.
Yeah, burning bush.
And it is a transmission, isn't it? It's also a transmission which keeps coming me back to the Elon Musk. It's a transmission of thought. It's or would you say control?
Yeah, can you imagine if you could read people's minds? There was a Mel Gibson film, What Women Want. Do you remember that?
Oh,
and
God,
you could hear. That must be. I mean, if you really could, that would drive you nuts. If you could literally hear everyone's mind.
Yeah, that reminds me of Bruce Almighty, where he hears everybody.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that would be. I reckon we wouldn't be able to cope.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
I don't think we're, like you say, like with the aliens. You know, we're not advanced enough to deal with it yet. Our brains are not wouldn't cope with it.
So, do you think what Elon Musk is doing with the telepathy between the person and the machine, do you think he's enhancing that ability for us?
No.
I
do believe, like, that, you know, people that have got disabilities, if mechanical contraptions can help them, like or technology, should I say, then I'm all for it. Because if I was a paraplegic in a chair and I wanted to,
if it enabled you to move your hand and hold
if it
stuff,
meant changing my life, I would risk my life for that. I would.
Yeah, I can see I can see benefits to it. I can, that people could get quite a different life, or have the ability, not the disability, of living their life. You know, an ability to do things. May not solve everything. Like, it could give you speech. It could give you after, like you were saying, like a stroke. Maybe you have a severe stroke and.
It's not mind reading the public, though, is it? You know, it's
the telepathy between you. I reckon you'd have to be hooked to the machine or something. So it would be. That's where I'm trying to get the concept from. The machine would be telling you.
Yeah. So in the end, I think everyone will be hooked up to machines. I mean, look at everybody now with mobile phones,
people
and Wi-Fi.
Right. You mentioned that. That's really weird because what would you say? It's telepathy that you're talking about a subject. You're talking about a subject and you suddenly find, so I'm talking about donuts, and then, I'd like to. You're talking about donuts and suddenly you get up all the local donut places near to you in adverts on your phone. Would you say that's telepathy? Or would you say you're being listened to?
Yeah, you're being listened to. Yeah, definitely.
You know,
it's happened a lot with me.
Oh, yeah, it could be any subject. You could actually say, I'll make sure I get some bread. And what do you want? Some beans. And suddenly you get this, like, vegetable guru come on you. Yeah. But telepathy, I think that's been... People have the mentalists.
Yeah.
Who can read how you, like, your body language. I think it's been used by mentalists to manipulate. I can hear. Yes, I can hear your thoughts.
Magicians,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
like Derren Brown.
well,
He proves it's all science, doesn't he?
he proves some of it's complete codswallop and all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, they've said I can. Yes, I'm getting. Yes, that's it. Think about that subject. Think about that subject, and it's because you've blinked your eye on the left for 3 times, and it gives you an answer.
I'll tell you something that was scary. When I was about 16 years old, I used to go out with a boy from Laos. Now, his name was very, very long. I think it was like 23 letters in it. And he had just a very short English name. We'll call him
Bob.
David Ping or something. Yeah. So his real name was very, very long. And there was this Indian guy who afterwards I actually found out he died. But he was a Sikh, I think. I think he had the turban on. I'm sure he was like a Sikh. But he used to come round and he came to our stables and he straight away came in. He did ask for money and I said, I'm sorry, I've only got a couple of quid. Looked at all the horses and he went, that's your one. He said, beautiful horse. So I said, oh, thanks. I thought, oh, maybe he's been in and looked, you know. And then he said, give me something that I can tell you. So I said, okay. So I thought of David's name. So he said, write it on a piece of paper. Now, so I've got this piece of paper in my hand, yeah. I wrote down his real name. No, I wrote down his English name. That was it, yeah, because it was obviously easier. David Ping, we'll call him, yeah. Wrote down his English name. Now, I thought, okay, he could be watching the way that I write and he's learned which way, you know, your hand goes.
That's
mirrored.
A good example of what we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, because he's saying, don't show me, but you can see my hand going up and down. Then I folded it. I can't remember what I did with it. Then he wrote it on another piece of paper, but he wrote his real name.
Wow.
And I'd forgotten about that, but I was only like 16 years old at the time, 17, and that was insane. And then later on I heard that the guy just dropped down dead. So was he like something special, you know, like do you remember like Phenomenon, when people have a brain tube and sometimes it presses on something but it gives you,
it releases a part of the brain that isn't used. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
But although it's fatal, it opens you up to things that no other, it's like a superhuman trait, isn't it?
I think that's what's been trying to be achieved. Yeah. As much as I want to celebrate a microchip being put in somebody's brain to help them, whatever that is in life, or to be part of an experiment where it could be of value, it will be used for evil.
Of course it will,
yeah. So, do you believe in telepathy?
Yes.
Yeah? Absolutely. I should have been quiet then and gone, is that your true thoughts? No, but yeah, you know, get in touch with us, leave a comment. Do you have any experiences of telepathy? We really would love to do a podcast with some of your input, with some of your stories. We can say, you know, Carol from Calgary, you know, got in contact and said this. We really, really would. We know our audience isn't very big, but hang on, let me think.
Ah, yes, it will be.
See, it works, doesn't it? It does work. Right, guys, we are going to leave you now. I hope you've heard the birds are beautiful here, aren't they? In sunny Butte Canuck in Northern Cyprus. See you next time on our podcast, A Cosmic Conversation. Have a look back at some of the other ones that we've already done, and hope you enjoy it. Subscribe and like on any platform you are listening to this. So see you next time, guys, from me, Marie.
And me, Tina. Bye.
Bye.